Hey McNamara art friends, this video is coming at you on the week of April 27th, and this is going to be for my kindergarten through second grade artists. This week, I'm trying to move a little bit away from just doing drawings and things like that every weekend. As quarantine goes a little longer than planned, we want to start doing some fun things that still aren't out of the realm of your capability. And that also just means, too, with the materials you have. I thought I'd try and figure out something to do this week that everyone could have access to. And I made my own paint, and that might not sound like something that everyone can do, but you can. All right. So I have a bunch of different materials that we can all use together. I use mud from my backyard. Now, if you are not using any parental supervision while going and getting mud and you're a kindergartner or a first grader or a second grader, please do not do that. Okay, we don't want any messes. But I just took a small fork, and right inside of this cup here, this ramekin, I have the watered down mud. It looks really gross, right? But it makes really, really good paint. Other stuff you can use is coffee grounds from mom and dad's coffee in the morning, or even certain spices like turmeric. Some different types of watercolors do really well, or food colors, not watercolors. My art brain never turns off. Now, I'm just going to make something, anything. The activity is about making the paint today, making some sort of color that you can apply with a brush or just a finger if you don't even have a brush, okay? Be creative this week with the art project. Make whatever you want on your paper. Maybe keep it to a spring theme, okay? So for my spring theme, I think I'm just going to draw like maybe a butterfly or some sort of landscape like that. The art activity this week is about making the paint. Okay, so don't worry about what ends up on your paper. Just have fun trying to experiment with different types of colors that you can make yourself. Okay, so again, just a little bit of mud and a little bit of water. You have a nice washed brown paint. Okay, now the more water you add to this solution, I'm going to tilt my camera down a little bit. The more water you add to the solution, the lighter brown color it will be. The less water you add, the darker it will be. So it's a lot like using watercolors with Mr. Brown right in my art room, right? So I have my paintbrush ready to go. Okay, and I'm just going to start painting. And if it turns out really, really silly and not how you wanted it, that's fine. But you can see that it makes a pretty good kind of light brownish color, right? And it's okay if your whole painting's the same color this week. We have limited options in these very trying times, my friends. So there is not much we can do, when life knocks us down, we gotta figure out how to get back up. And as an artist that doesn't have a lot of traditional art supplies, we have to get even more creative with what we do. Okay. So here I am. I'm just making my little butterfly here. Okay. And this isn't going to be a very colorful butterfly, right? And again, that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes we just got to kind of roll with it. Okay. And the fun part of this activity should just be realizing that you really can make paint from anything. Anything that has color to it, you can make paint from. And did you know that way, way back, before people could just go to the store and buy paint out of a tube, this is the kind of stuff that artists had to do, but they had to get even more creative with it because they had to figure out, what can I grind up and mash up and mix with water to make something turn blue? Or what can I do that with to make it turn red and stay red after it dries, right? It's a lot of crazy stuff that they used to do to make paint. I'm not going to tell you all about it because I want you to try your own crazy stuff too. Okay? Please, my friends, when you are creating this project, you do need a little bit of supervision. Okay? Because I do not want anyone making a big mess of things without their parents at least having a little heads up that we're going to be doing a messier activity this week, okay? There can't be a ton of detail that goes into these drawings, okay? And I do apologize if you can't see my paper super well. Mr. Brown is still working on getting his camera, my document camera I used to use in my classroom, up and running with this computer that I borrowed. So we'll get to that soon, so you'll have a much better view of what I'm drawing and what I'm creating. Okay, now I think you can see it pretty well here. We have our finished product, we have our paint water, and we have a happy Mr. Brown because we were able to make something different this week without pencil and paper. Again, I apologize if the video was a little bit less than professional with the editing and things like that. We're all figuring it out in our own ways. So I hope everyone's doing okay. I hope everyone's nice and happy and healthy at home. And I hope you have fun with this week's art project. Thanks, friends, and I'll see you next week. Bye now.